the Occupy movements are an extremely significant development, and one should not underwrite that. One should not underplay that at all, because it is a new generation, large, small, different parts of the world, which is saying enough. We've had enough. We don't like what we are seeing. We are hostile to the system, which is a very important start. But again, today or yesterday, the indignados in Madrid occupied Puerto del Sol. Occupied it in tens of thousands, much, much larger. That's, you know, the Occupy movement in a sense did start in the Arab world and in Europe and spread. So they are different movements with different strengths, different weaknesses. But in my opinion, of course, in order to the next phase of the Occupy movements, has to move beyond the occupation of public space to the occupation of political space, to challenge the existing parties, however they want to do it, to come up with even, you know, 5 or 10 key demands. This is what we want, to mobilize even more people, because they say 1%, 99%, it's slightly demagogic, because we know that not all that 99% is for them. If the size would be very different, but it's a good one, but it's not exactly accurate. But how to make it accurate, and what will make it accurate is actually moving forward now beyond this to come up not with old-style, bureaucratic-style parties, but certainly even with social movements which suggest 10 things, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what we are fighting for. It's achievable if you join us. It's not achievable within the system. The thing Slavoj pointed out about the bailouts and how the democracy was circumvented, it's, you know, the Democrats had won, and Obama went to the House of Representatives where some of the Democrats were resisting the bailouts and said, you just do what Bush is asking. My election, in other words, my election means nothing. You just do what we are telling you to do, otherwise our system is going to collapse, which is why his economic policies, and there are many economists tearing their hair out, haven't been different. And this Occupy movement in the United States is partially, not a big protest against all that. So I just feel, and I tell them when I speak to them in Princeton or the Bay Area, I said, this is tremendous, great, do think now on how, I don't even want to tell you, think for yourselves how we can take this forward. Because simply coming here once a year and saying we started the movement is good, but it's not enough. We have to think about how to take it forward, and that's even equally important for Spain, where you had huge movements, really huge movements in occupying public spaces in big cities and in small cities. And 1 week later, after or some months later, the right won a huge majority. And the two are not in tandem. This is why the French business, which is happening now, offers some models to the Occupy movement, certainly in the rest of Europe, and who knows, perhaps even the United States.
Yeah, I have a question actually. You showed your support in Zuccotti Park at the Occupy Wall Street movement, but on the other hand, recently you published an article where you quoted Jacques Lacan and said what you are searching is actually a new master. So it seems to me you're more pessimistic than Tariq is, or not?
No. It's it works. Yes, it's basically, I put it in my own words, what you said now, that this pure protest movement is not enough. If you remain at that level, you are effectively calling for a new master. This is what worried me a little bit, but now I read they are getting better, namely the original indignados. What worried me, I said this last year here even, I think. You remember, they had a list of demands, we all agree, basically, welfare state, ecology, dignity, and so on. And then they said they distrust the entire political class, not just left and right, but they still operated not in the sense of we don't trust you, we will do it alone, but in the sense of a demand. And I was asking then, my God, they are constructing a space for an X. Like, whom are they addressing? Not themselves. They were literally creating the space of a new master, and we already have one of these new masters outside standard political parties. They are the bank experts, which are incidentally, that's the irony also with Obama, which are usually the guys from the very circles who screwed up this crisis, no? Like Timothy Geithner comes from the banks who ruined us, and so on and so on. So, but maybe another thing along the same lines, you know, first, there is one reproach that we always hear. Stop your stupid criticism if you don't have concrete solutions. This is petit bourgeois stupidity. Let me give you another example. What about ecology? We know we are approaching a crisis. We don't know solutions, a clear, simple solution. Does this mean that we shouldn't outline the problem or what? Or take even a more pathetic example, fighting cancer, or I'm doing it, diabetes. We don't know how to, we know just moderately how to control diabetes. Does this mean we shouldn't talk about it? This is a kind of a totally false ideological blackmail.